Well, good evening, leaders and leaders in training. Back for another video. Tonight, I want to talk about something that usually happens every day at our office. It's part of our daily lives. Mistakes and what to do as a leader and what to do as a team when they happen. You ever wonder why mistakes just all of a sudden, just out of the blue, they just start happening one after the other? It could be mistakes made on a transaction with a patient, on the schedule, just something. Okay, it just seems like when it rains, it pours. Mistake after mistake. Um, in my opinion, the reason why mistakes I think happen, a couple of reasons that I wanted to share with you guys tonight. Of course, the first one is one of the reasons why mistakes are happening at your office probably is because the training is not happening. It's not happening the way it should be happening for your team. They're not getting the resources they need. Nobody's showing them how to handle a certain situation, how to handle a certain phone call, insurance, whatever the case may be. And so the training for the team is not happening. And as the coach and as the leader of your team, you've got to focus on the training. You got to make sure that your team is getting the training that they should be getting every day. Okay, training should be going on every day. As a coach, if you really want to win that championship, training is going on constantly. It's just not going on certain days a week. It's going on all year long. Okay. Um, so that's one reason why I think that mistakes are happening is the training is just not happening the way it should. And as a leader, that's on you. Okay. Everything rises and falls on the leadership. The second thing why I think mistakes are happening or might be happening at your office is just for the mere fact that complacency just started to happen. It started to happen on your team. You as a leader got complacent. The team got complacent, and so you kind of always have to look for that as a leader. I went to, many of you already know my story. As a former Marine, I was deployed twice to Iraq. And, I remember the first time that I went, I just remember seeing signs everywhere. It was even painted on our vehicles in big old letters. It would say the sign or on the vehicle or our Humvees, whatever. Complacency kills. Okay. And so you always have to stay focused. The last place you wanted to be complacent was uh, in an area of operations like that, where I was at in my firm base. And so you have to be aware, situational awareness. What's going on? Why are there mistakes happening? As a leader, I mean, I'm constantly just trying to look around and see what just happened. What do I need to do to number one, not make it happen again, and then learn from it. Um, but hopefully at the office, when you make a mistake, hopefully in an optometric practice like where I come from, my background, I work for an optometrist here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. When mistakes happen, I don't think that anybody's going to die. Okay, I don't think that I'm going to hurt anybody when a mistake happens if I make it. And trust me, I do make mistakes. Okay, I don't walk on water. Um, but hopefully, that won't happen. Some of you work in an environment where if you make a mistake, somebody could get badly hurt. So you really cannot be complacent. Um, but you are going to make mistakes. And one of the things I always share with my team is when you do make mistakes, hopefully you'll learn from it fast. Because it will cost two things. Mistakes will cost two things. It will cost you time and it will cost you money. So you got to stay focused. Time, man, it is just so it's so frustrating for me as a leader because I'm always constantly thinking about the future. I'm setting goals every weekend for that week that's coming up, or the month that's coming up, or the quarter that's coming up. I'm always constantly thinking about the future, and that's just the way that I'm built. I'm thinking about what's ahead of me, and then all of a sudden I'll get an email or something, and I'm having to fix a mistake that happened 2 months ago. So frustrating for me, but hey, you got to fix it, and as a team, we got to learn from it. So that's the important thing is once you see that mistake, stop what you're doing, fix that mistake, learn from it, so hopefully it won't happen again. And so money, I have to go back and fix a mistake that happened 2 months ago. And so now I'm working on that instead of the future. Instead of working on the strengths of my team, I'm working on the weaknesses. And so the money part too, man, working in an optical clinic as I do, um, you take a measurement wrong, you don't fit the glasses right, the refraction in the exam room may not be correct, the pre-test may not be correct. And if we do the glasses wrong, if we place that order wrong, if we take the measurements wrong, it's going to cost money now. It's going to cost time because we got to remake the glasses again, and then it's going to cost money. If you've already used up all your redos, now you got to pay for an extra set of lenses because you did not learn from the mistake you did the first time. So, one of the things that I always share with my team all the time is, okay, if we make a mistake, let's learn from it. And they're all going to happen because time and money, man, they're both costly. So stay focused. One of the things that I always ask myself too sometimes is why is the team complacent? Why aren't they focused? What is distracting them? And sometimes in order to figure that out, you got to know your team. You got to be able to connect with team. One of my mentors that I always studied and I like to read his books, John C. Maxwell, the way he put it was leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. So, if you really want to know what's going on, I try not to cross that line. But, when people come on board with my team, they're there for years. We've had people that worked for me for 9 years. There's somebody that's for 8 years. Somebody's been there for 5, going on 6 years. So people are there for a long time. And so at that point, you almost become family. So you kind of don't want to cross that line. You want to be professional, but you got to connect with your team. What's going on at home? Why is it that when they get to the office, they're so distracted they can't even focus? I remember an incident when we went to Iraq the first time. There was a Marine who had something going on at home. Before we went to Iraq, we had to go to California for 3 months to acclimatize to the desert heat, get some training in and whatnot. But we sent him home for a week or two to take care of that issue with his family so he could come back to us and take part in the training that he was going to need and focus on so that he could get that training before we headed out to Iraq. So he would know how to do his job when we got to Iraq. So, connect with your team, know your team. A lot of times people, when they're in charge, all they want to do is correct their team, but they never connect with them. So know your team, know what's going on. Don't get too personal, but like I said, when you work with somebody for years, you almost become family. Another reason why that I think mistakes happen is ego. A lot of times, the team gets so good, they think that everything is going so well, and then all of a sudden, bam, they stop focusing, they don't look at the little details, and then the mistake starts to happen again. One of the great military leaders that I like to study from the Vietnam era, Colonel Hal Moore. He was portrayed in a very famous movie, We Were Soldiers, by Mel Gibson. he had 4 leadership principles that I really studied. One of them was, again, mistakes are going to happen. But one of the things that he always teaches officers is 3 strikes and you're not out. Okay, like in baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. But not so in life, maybe not so in combat. There's always one more thing that you can do. You got to figure it out. When the chaos, the chaotic moment is happening, whether in combat or at the office, 3 strikes, you're not out. What is the next thing that you can do? Another thing that I learned from him is when mistakes happen, you got to stay calm. Okay, as a leader, if you are not calm, then the team is not going to be calm and they're going to be panicking because you are panicking. Okay, and as a leader, you got to stay calm to make good decisions when the mistakes do happen. One of the things that I will never forget, and I've always learned this too when I was a non-commissioned officer and a staff non-commissioned officers in the Marine Corps myself, when I went to academy, one of the things I learned is always look for something that could go wrong. Colonel Hal Moore, one of his principles was when there's nothing wrong, except there's nothing wrong. Okay, what can go wrong? When I go into the office every morning, I'm constantly looking around, looking at the schedule, looking at the calendar, who's going to be on vacation, who was not feeling well yesterday. They might call in sick today. What can go wrong? What happens if the computers go down? What happens if a storm comes in and it shuts down your whole office? What happens if a storm comes in and you got to send everybody home? What can go wrong? Okay, so when there's nothing wrong except there's nothing wrong. Something will go wrong. Hopefully not every day, but there are some days, man, when it rains, it pours. Another reason why I think mistakes happen, attitude. If I go into the office as the team leader with the worst attitude in the world, guess who's going to feel that? Okay? I always tell the story when we were kids, and I would say I was maybe 4 or 5. My brother was maybe 3. Okay, my sister was a little bit younger. I think she was just a baby. But I remember we were going on a long trip, a road trip, and I could tell that something was upsetting my dad. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. I was little. Okay, all I know as a 5-year-old is my dad was not happy. Okay, he was angry about something. I don't remember why. But of course, I felt that. My brothers and sisters felt that. Okay, so we weren't happy. We weren't laughing because dad wasn't laughing. Okay, and the same thing as a leader. If I go in the office with the worst attitude in the world, that's contagious. Okay, eventually the whole team is going to be having a sour attitude, and then guess what? That's going to translate to the patients and to each other. And the next thing you know, the attitude in the whole office is going to be, sour, and mistakes are going to happen. So check your attitude. Make sure that as a leader that yes, you are human. You are going to have bad days, but do the best as you can as a leader to have the best attitude when you go to the office, because that's going to translate to the team, because it's contagious. Okay, whatever you're feeling, they're going to feel. All right. Because leadership, Lou Holtz, one of the other coaches that I studied, his thing was leadership, or attitude starts at the top with the leader, never at the bottom. Okay, so whatever the coach, whatever the leader is feeling, whatever attitude they got, okay, that's going to be passed along to the team. Another reason why I think mistakes happen, I share this with my team all the time. Know your pace, okay? If you go too fast, you're gonna miss something. Okay, I promise you. All right. If you go too slow, you're not going to get as much accomplished as you should. Okay, know your pace. When you're thinking you're going so fast, you're trying to multitask and you're trying to do 100 things at once, and the next thing you know, 5 mistakes happen. You forget to include something on an order. You don't even remember that you placed the order. A mistake will happen if you do not know your pace. Okay, so don't go too fast. Yes, you got a lot to do. We work in a very fast-paced environment, and I'm constantly trying to teach my team to learn how to handle that. So, which leads to the next thing. When I talk to my team, uh, you got to learn how to perform under pressure, and you got to learn how to put the pressure on yourself in everything that you do. Coach Lou Holtz tells a wonderful story about a field goal kicker in practice. This field goal kicker was kicking 60, 65-yard field goals. I mean, he was just down the middle, okay, 65-yard field goals. The next thing you know, during practice, Coach Lou Holtz decided to just stand next to him and just observe him kicking these field goals. And lo and behold, the field goal kicker starts missing them far to the right. And the coach is like, "What's going on?" And the player's response was, "Well, coach, I get nervous when you're watching me. I can't make the field goals." And Coach Lou Holtz, his response was, "Well, where do you think I'm going to be during the game? I'm going to be in the sidelines watching you. So if you can't make them now in practice, you're not going to make them during the game when I need you to make these field goals." So he told this kicker, learn how to perform under pressure and learn how to put pressure on yourself in everything that you do. Because I tell you what, this fast-paced environment that we work in a lot of practices, it's fast-paced. And if you don't learn how to perform under pressure, especially when the mistakes start to happen, man, the ship is going to sink. Okay, you got to learn how to control the attitude that you have, stay calm, control the fear, don't let that take over, and then start making good decisions when those mistakes start to happen. So those are some of the few reasons why I think mistakes happen in your office. I hope that I was able to share something good for you tonight as a leader, as a team. Like I said, we all come together when mistakes happen. We send emails, we get together, we look at what just happened, we learn from it. It's an opportunity to learn from it. Now let's not make it again, okay? Because it's going to cost time and money. So thank you for listening in. I just thought I'd share that with you because I know mistakes happen everywhere. Hopefully it doesn't lead to somebody getting hurt in your office, but it will cost you time and money. So again, mistakes are costly if you don't learn from them. So I hope I was able to share something good with you tonight. Hope that it made some sense to you. And then the other thing I wanted to remind you guys as well is my book, again, is on sale. So if you go to dolerancepublishing.com, look for the title of my book, which is Better, 1 or 2, How to Have a Great Team. If you can find that on the website, you can order my book now. I think I listed a couple of ways to buy my book in a video that I made last week, so you can look at that video and on my channel. So until next time, leaders, I'll see you at the front, and then when the mistakes happen, learn from it, control the fear, and hopefully you guys will grow and get stronger as a team as you learn from the mistakes that happen at the practice on a daily basis. Have a good night.